I'm basically gonna make this video because I touched on briefly, I mean like extremely briefly, some points that I actually had to make. This was about Biden's policies and the principalities that are behind his policies, like abortion and other things. Obviously, these are sins that brings judgments on America. But I was speaking more upon spiritual warfare to prevent this from these little these little spawns of Satan, obviously, from coming up onto the earth. And by sending the legions out there to ensure that these individuals stay in the abyss and that they stay in hell, and that they actually don't come back up here. And obviously this is done by binding and loosing and sending legions out to these individuals as prison guards, so to speak, to ensure that these individuals actually stay there. This is including for all of Biden's policies. So obviously, whether he actually gets elected or whether he doesn't, you must be anticipating everything and be prepared spiritually for Biden's election, which is actually pretty important for you to actually lay to heart, because if you're not really prepared spiritually for it, the influx of demons is really going to shake your faith. And obviously through this, many individuals will end up retreating back and going back to their old ways, or just losing the good path they've been on all their life, and just going on and seeing if the grass is actually green on the other side, only to stay on the other side because of naivety and just plain stupidity. That's about as simple as it gets. For lack of a better terms, I'll just say stupidity. And yeah, that's basically about it. But obviously, this is more of about why you should actually be praying. Obviously, this is not only what would be the word? This is not only specifically targeted towards America. This is actually for Israel mostly, and then obviously for Israel and all the neighboring nations around there, because of the Muslim nations are heavily ignorant about the devices of the devil. These individuals are heavily ignorant about there even being a devil, and how the devil is actually cunning enough to actually use them to get them to do his will. So these individuals are completely naive of the devil's evil and wickedness, and also they're very ignorant about how they could actually be used for the devil. So this is something that you should be praying for these individuals, and you pray that these individuals are not even used for the will of the devil, whether they acknowledge whether they think they have an idea of what it could be, or whether they don't have an idea, but they just pray to the Lord God of Abraham, and to ensure that he preserves them and keeps them from doing the will of the devil, and to preserve them from their prophet Muhammad. Obviously they have to be praying diligently about these types of things, because these are the type of things that are going to be game changers, so to speak, because not only are you going to be prolonging the time, you're actually going to be saving some of these Muslim individuals from the snare of the devil that he's already given these individuals, which is more important than anything. Obviously, you're saving these individuals from the clutches of the devil and from the lake of fire, and you're actually ensuring that these individuals, you're maintaining and keeping the peace. So you, in a way, you're kind of like police officers, and you're trying to keep the peace on the face of this earth, and to ensure that the peace is kept from these wicked people who are trying to instigate and mostly instigate and incite riots against Jerusalem and against Israel. Obviously their recompense is you should recompense it right back to them because of how evil they are. And then just to keep these individuals who are not voluntarily submitted to the devil, you should keep them out of it and just recompense their evil right back to them. And that's what these Muslims should do as well. But obviously these individuals should just go to Jesus Christ. Although there are some Muslims who have willingly bowed down to the devil, obviously there's not really much anybody can do. They themselves know the truth about everything. They themselves know that they're not any more Muslim than they are Catholic, so they belong to the devil at that point. And that's that. The only thing that's going to take them to be saved is God's grace and mercy and sovereignty over everything for them to actually truly be saved. But that's just that part and that aspect of the video that I was actually going to speak on, because many individuals are not really taking their authority that they actually need to be taking. And obviously it's really simple. You just say no. You're not gonna back down to the authority, and you just continue pushing forward no matter what these individuals do. I put a post earlier to cast out external thoughts, and this actually helps you to understand how often you get bombarded with the thoughts of the enemy in an attempt to thwart your momentum that you're actually gaining because you're actually fighting against them. Obviously, these individuals are going to resist you, but they cannot resist you forever, people. So that's where you put that hammer down and you continue hammering these individuals down until they stop resisting. These individuals cannot resist you forever, people. These individuals do have a breaking point, and they do have what is that called? They can't maintain that whatever they think they have. That facade that these individuals are truly as invincible as they think they are. That in itself should open your mind and allow you to actually see how human these individuals actually are. And how stupid their attempts they try to be, how stupid their attempts are to try to make themselves seem like they're somehow above. They're just somehow above. And these individuals are obviously egoistic and narcissistic. They're very full of themselves, but these individuals are drunk on God's wrath. So obviously, at face value, you're able to see that these individuals are truly being used as God's sword and tool. So obviously, you shouldn't really pay it any mind. But obviously, iron sharpens iron, right? But yeah, that's basically about it. Don't be intimidated by them. Use discernment. Be intelligent. Be wise. Keep moving and keep pushing through. The same way how these the British individuals. Well, they don't even bother flinching or even moving for the people who even try to bother them. The prison guards. You should keep that in the same way of thinking as you continue marching on enemy-occupied territory and binding and loosing, and even going after the bigger battles, people. Because the bigger battles are actually what you actually need to go after. You cannot at all go after these little battles anymore, because these little battles are actually distracting you from what you actually need to be fighting against, and what you actually need to be loosed from and to be delivered from. So so obviously do what you need to do, and do it quickly and do it fast. Do not let these individuals get in your head. Do not let these individuals think that they have more authority over you. Let me just say this one time, that the witches have zero authority over you. I know how it sounds, and I know how convincing they attempt to try to make it seem, how they have all this authority, but they do not have they have zero authority over you. Obviously, that's pretty self-explanatory in itself. Zero means zero. You have all the authority over them, but they don't have any authority over you. That speaks volumes, and that speaks a lot, how they don't have any authority over you, but you have authority over them. So obviously they're in a state of panic because this type of message getting out, because they lose their foothold. And what do you do when you take away their power and you just drain their power and you suck their power? Obviously, these individuals are just regular, good old customers. I mean, good old employees from your favorite restaurant. And obviously, it's like, well, you're basically nothing now. The only thing that you really have is your own tie that you used to have with the devil. As individuals patrol the streets and like police officers and like prison guards, to ensure that these individuals are kept on their toes, and obviously you might have to slap them a little bit to ensure these individuals recognize the pecking order, that these individuals are lowest of the low, they're even lower than demons, and that's it. Obviously you keep pushing forward and keep destroying these individuals' way of thinking and keep recompensing their evil right back to them. These individuals are bullies. They like to intimidate people, and especially they gain a great satisfaction from picking on the weak. Obviously, an individual's on the side of light. This is infuriating to hear that these individuals are like that. But you pick on them back in the same manner as what I just described, and you continue picking on them, and yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, that's it. You just make them feel weak, just like how they're making other individuals just feel weak. Yeah, just keep on doing that. Keep pushing forward, and keep doing that. And that's the obviously this should be applied to the more bigger things that you're more or less scared to actually apply it to. Just out of fear that the devil has ensnared you with, to ensure that he could actually keep you and control you, and to stop you from actually truly giving him what he deserves. This is obviously an individual who has been engaged in spiritual warfare. Obviously, you can see this from a mile away. You can see the strategy, how desperate he is to ensure that individuals do not fight him back. And this is pretty obvious and pretty plain. And yeah, obviously you gotta fight him back, you gotta fight him harder, and whatever he tries to throw at you, use it to your own advantage and use it against his own destruction. These individuals are gonna rejoice in some way or another, but you rejoice because God is definitely more than capable of using whatever they try to use against you. And obviously that should put the fear of the Lord inside of them. It's just terrifying that they can't do a single thing. They can't move left or right because of God. Obviously, this should terrify them because they can't do a single thing. They can't move left or right. And yeah, that's basically I really don't have any much else to say about that. It still was pretty self-explanatory in itself. Obviously, all you really do is just hammer the enemy down. And in the same manner where you try to talk to an individual who's in the psych ward, or prison guards, or prison guards try to control an inmate, you smack them down, and you keep smacking them down. You just keep doing it because eventually they're gonna have to fall. And that's basically what you have to do. You have to keep smacking these individuals down, and obviously there's not really anywhere to go to because this is already grounded as truth. For you to accept anything other than what I just said would just be a flat out lie, which you who are a Christian, you're not, you don't believe the lies, you don't believe lies. You're grounded on solid truth, and this is what this is. This is solid truth for you to actually understand. So in essence, it's either this or dumb yourself down, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, that's basically it about that. And obviously you just keep moving forward and you keep hammering the enemy down. Obviously, some individuals need to really hearken to it and really remember what I just said. And yeah, that's basically it. It's pretty self-explanatory. You don't take no for an answer, and you just continue ripping the kingdom of darkness away from their hands, whether they like it or not. Obviously, that's not really your problem anymore because you're in the kingdom of light. You're supposed to be doing this. Whatever happens to them, whether they get killed because they failed in their mission, or whether their homies get killed and thrown in a lake of fire, that's really not your problem anymore. It really has nothing to do with you. So obviously, just keep hammering the enemy down and keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is making these individuals just cry, and they're ripping the kingdom away from their hands. And yeah, that's basically about it. And this is how it's already written, people, that the kingdoms of the earth have become the kingdoms of the world and of His Christ. And obviously, these things are meant to happen, but you have to do the work. Prior to Donald Trump actually being president, and just rip the presidency away from Joe Biden. What else? Obviously, you really gotta hit the enemy where it hurts. You gotta send them send the spirit of the Midianites to them, and yeah, that's basically it. You gotta play dirty and play dirtier than these individuals. These individuals are truly playing extremely dirty, and obviously, you could just give them back you could just give them what they've been reaping. Give them what they've been sowing, that they reap what they sow. This isn't really a controversial post, just because of this isn't really a controversial post at all. This is just more of what you should have been doing this entire time as a Christian post, and obviously this is more trying to feed your mind into obviously you should apply it to deliverance as well for yourselves, and you should apply it to deliverance for your whole town and the nation that you're in. But this, what I just described and what I just said, what I just described and what I just said, this is just what you should have been doing as a Christian. This at all should not have been, any pastor, any preacher that tries to tell you that this was that you shouldn't have been doing this is a flat out liar. These individuals will try to get mad and try to get angry, but this is all just a far cry. It's a cry for help for their demon friends, because they really didn't stand any chance whatsoever. And these individuals, as foolish as it looks and as stupid as it is, these individuals truly knew that they were fighting a losing battle. And that was it. And these individuals really knew that they were actually losing in an attempt for them to actually solidify themselves in the promises of the devil, which at face value sounds like a complete lie and just complete garbage. These individuals would begin getting angry, like as if the devil was so competent when he already got cast out of heaven. So obviously, that further explains what I'm attempting to say, for you to actually fully grasp it. That these individuals truly are drunk, and they believe the devil to the fullest, and it's just for the most pettiest reasons, just so they can continue smoking marijuana. Just so they can continue smoking marijuana, just so they can continue drinking beer. These individuals would believe all the lies of the devil. And they know that he's not even competent either. But obviously, the individuals have not a covenant. These individuals have I don't know the word. I wouldn't say covenant. But I would definitely say these individuals are promoting the devil and his agenda. And because they're promoting the devil, obviously these individuals would get angry and act like they're angry. Like, oh, how could she do this to us? And obviously at face value, you can hear how it sounds. And you're just like, light conquers darkness. You should automatically already know. It's like, how could he do this? Doesn't he know how great the devil is? I mean, it's like, well, no, but the devil's only a man. You're comparing the devil to someone who is just incredibly intelligent or not as a human. Obviously, the things that the devil knows, you could even use things that the devil doesn't even know against him. This is one of the things that I started doing as well, and this made the devil scream and just shriek. And obviously, hold on, the wind is blowing. The devil hollered at the top of his lungs when even I found out about the things that are pretty common knowledge to me. The devil still didn't even know. He just screamed at the top of his lungs because I realized, that this individual does not know much, as much as he portrays himself to seem. He knows patterns, he knows circuits, he knows this and he knows that. But this is relatively simple stuff to God. Obviously, there was a time where this was brand new to him, but obviously it's not new to anyone. It's not new to his followers. His followers use the same tactics. And if his followers use the same tactics, obviously the average individual can use the same tactics as well. So it's not really anything at all. It's not complex. It's not complicated. The devil's just incredibly egoistic, and you have to fan this man's ego to please him. And as foolish and stupid as it sounds, this is exactly what his followers do. His followers must motivate the devil into him believing that he really is capable of doing the things that he says that he's capable of. But in reality, he really isn't, and this is evident in all the times that they get angry. This is evident in all the times they fail. The devil is truly incompetent. If the devil has 100 excuses, God has, a million. He has one reason why he failed, and that's because he's God, and the devil isn't. That's it, and that's that. Yeah, that's it. The devil can give 100 excuses why he failed, but God only needs to give one reason why and God is God, and that's it. And obviously the devil cannot say these things, evidently, because he's on the face of this earth. So don't let him deceive you, and don't let him try to beguile you or bewitch you with this foolishness. Keep accepting no. Keep taking no. Don't take no for whatever I said earlier. I forgot. But yeah, that's basically it about that. Obviously, the devil's time is extremely short. There's gonna come a time where the devils are not even being able to be used by the devils, are the witches and Satanists are not even able to use the demons because they're all getting bound up and they're all scared, and obviously they all fear the Lord. So these devils and these demons are not even able to be used by their actual followers. So these individuals have to resort to putting hands on individuals and putting knives. What is that called? Well, stabbing individuals and killing people, running them over, and doing things of that nature because they just can't do it with the devils anymore. So they have to. So you've infuriated them to that extent that they have no power. That now they actually want to get inside of. Now they just want to kill you. They want to put their hands on you. Obviously, you can just tell them, go cry about it, do whatever you want. Pray for them. Pray for the individuals that persecute you. And yeah, that's basically it. I don't really have much to say about this video, but this is pretty self-explanatory. I touched on a couple key points. I may go further in depth to it because oftentimes I'll rewatch my videos and I'll say these things, but I'm saying them because I have the knowledge already behind it, and you don't really have the knowledge behind it. You're barely finally figuring out how this stuff actually works and how this stuff is actually happening. So basically, I'll just keep it short. In the beginning, God created everything, right? So God created the devil and his angels. But they weren't the devil. They were all good angels, and this is written in Genesis how God separated the light from the darkness, and He saw the light was good. Obviously, this is also what He did with the angels in heaven. He separated the light from the darkness. He separated the good angels from the bad angels. He saw that the light was good and the darkness was cast down into everlasting shame. Obviously, this is also what happened to the devil himself. He got separated. And so basically, if the devil was able to be cast out of heaven, that in itself shows you the type of character and person that he actually is. He deceived all the fallen angels to believe that he could actually ascend above God through pride of himself and through his own iniquity. He convinced himself that he could be higher and he could be infinite than God. So at face value, this sounds pretty ridiculous and pretty stupid. It'd be in the same way as an individual like Hitler saying that he could rise above God. But this is the exact same principle, and this is the exact same thing. The devil being having the foreknowledge of the wisdom of God, and knowing the things of God and the patterns of God. He got a little taste of God's infinite wisdom, and from that he's like, wow, he's like, I can be God. Basically that's realistically what stirred him up. Every precious stone was his covering. Every obviously precious stones mean wisdom and things like that. But the devil was still creation, so there was an eternal progression for the devil. So this means that the devil was not at all infinite. There is no eternal progression. That God is not limited to at all. God is not a creation. There is no progression with God. God is God, and that is it. So this is something that the devil himself did not know. That he himself had an eternal progression towards this, and that the angels in fact can learn more about certain things. So obviously this in itself exposes the incompetence of the devil himself, and it shows how truly worthless everything he does is, and the only thing that he really uses for his own benefit is the memories that he had while he was in heaven, that he learned in heaven, including the circuits and the patterns and things of that nature, the furies of beasts and just things of that nature he uses to his own advantage, which the guy is just pretty elementary and pretty much grade school. I'm sure if the devil was to look up into the sky, he would see how the Holy Spirit already had planned all of this out for the devil to actually fall and to be a character in the video game, and he himself, who knows how the circuits of the season and times are, I'm sure he could see exactly how this is already in the foreknowledge of God, and that nothing that he does, he's just following a script, so to speak. Keep in mind that there's something that the devil, there's things that the devil doesn't really know, like and this is obviously you use this to your own advantage. You abuse this and you abuse it maliciously, that these individuals do not know everything. They're not God, and you abuse that and you abuse that maliciously. These individuals are not God, and yeah, you use it to your own advantage until they give up, until they fall, until they break, or obviously their teeth break. So they gotta choose, right? You break or your teeth break. And obviously, what do you think they're gonna say? My teeth. Obviously, these individuals are not really rational creatures. These individuals will defend the devil until their fullest, until the end, because they feel like they're gonna get some sort of reward or prize of loyalty from the devil. But the devil does not love them. The devil does not care about them. The devil is more pumped, and as soon as the devil finds out this individual is part of the elect, he'll turn on them and kill them and do as much damage to them as possible. And obviously that's basically it about that. But yeah, that's that about the devil. He actually rose up, and he somehow convinced the fallen angels. Now obviously this is way before any of the stuff that we have learned before, that the devil is just creation, and the devil is this. So obviously, how he convinced a third of the angels to go with him. This was obviously, this is more of the infancy of creation. So I'm not saying that these individuals were slow, but these individuals were definitely they have never heard of sin ever before. The devil was the original. He was the first sinner. He was the first person ever to have iniquity inside of him, and obviously this is what got him cast out of heaven because of the iniquity. Before the devil, there was nobody who ever had sin or nobody who ever had iniquity. It was only the devil it was only the devil, and before him there was no one else who had it. Obviously, at face value, you can see that iniquity is really bad, and pride is truly bad. That it wasn't even created. It wasn't even from God, but it all stemmed from a state of mind that the devil truly believed that he could actually be. So all of it just stems from error. That the devil could truly be higher than God. Obviously, this is pretty foolish and pretty stupid. It would be like saying Joe Biden is going to be higher than God, or Joe Biden is smarter than God, or things of that nature. Obviously, at face value, it just looks ridiculous. I mean, you got to be really stupid for you to believe that. But these fallen angels believed wholeheartedly that the devil was going to give them what he promised, and that he was going to rise up even with this and with that. Which I firmly believe that the devil was given a spirit of delusion, where God picked his own delusion, and he basically sent him off into the wilderness. He completely would turn reprobate, and God just used it to his own advantage. Whoever believed his reprobate lies, and whoever believed his reprobate garbage can be like him and be like garbage, and that's genuinely what I think actually happened. That God gave him a power of error and power of delusion. Because there's absolutely no way that a human individual could ever even rise up and ever think themselves to be God. It's not that it's sad, but from a man aspect, obviously it's pretty sad. It's like, how in the world could a human or a creation ever think himself anything remotely closer to infinity? His soul is eternal, but that does not mean that his mind is infinite. And obviously, this is pretty grade school stuff. This is pretty much like elementary stuff. But to the devil, unfortunately, it wasn't elementary. To him, it was. He firmly believed. To the devil, he firmly believed that he could be higher than God, and he got cast out of heaven. And that's that. I don't think the devil is anywhere near God. I think the devil is like the size of an atom. I'll say an atom, and all of infinity is what God is. And although the devil had this and a little bit of that, God is the creator and the originator of whatever he learns. So obviously he could use that against him. He doesn't have to use what he uses or what he knows. He could obviously use different things because he is God. He's not bound by his own wisdom. He has infinite wisdom. He's not bound by anything because he's infinite. And that's basically about it. Obviously, this just explains what the devil is and his character. And obviously his main goal and his main tool is to actually get you to be tempted, as well as with generational curses and other things of that nature. And obviously this is one of the main things that the devil attempts to use to his own advantage. The devil is not at all his own. So although these temptations are solely based on your end, God tempts no man. The devil is not at all his own. He has to ask for permission for everything. And yeah, that's basically about it. Just like how it's written in Job, the devil is not able to actually enter heaven at his own will. And this should actually teach you how these devils are not allowed to enter inside of your temple, because the kingdom of heaven dwells inside of you at their own will. So yeah, just put your foot down, and that's basically it. you gotta expel all the demons that are inside of you, just like God expelled all the demons that are inside of heaven. And yeah, that's it. I completely forgot what I was just talking about, though. Wow. That the devil tests no man. No, that the guy tempts no man, but that the devil has to ask for permission towards God. This is not a lie. The devil has to ask for permission for everything. The devil doesn't get to do everything he wants. The devil doesn't get to do everything he wants, and the more he tries to get you to believe that, beat him down harder. Obviously, these are things that are authoritative things, and this is your authority. And obviously, you have the authority to basically to trample this serpent's head, and to stomp on his head, on the serpent's head, and to bring into, just like how it's written in the scriptures, how you're supposed to bring into obedience everything that is against God, or that rebels against God, that is contrary to bring all evil spirits to the obedience of Christ. Obviously, this is something that you should obviously be doing, whether individuals like it or not. Don't pay it any mind. Don't lean on your own understanding. Keep leaning on the understanding that God has given towards you. And yeah, that's basically it about that. I don't really have much else to say about that. I mean, I always speak about these types of things and the type of character that the devil is, but obviously an individual has met conniving and deceiving, manipulative junkies, and the devil is the exact same way. And obviously that's that. He's a junkie. He'll say whatever he can to get you to sin. For you to feed him his sin, for you to feed him his habit of sin, or whatever, his fix of sin. And these individuals get restless and do whatever. Keep beating them down. Don't lose this momentum. Think ahead. And ask Christ to show you a more excellent way to do this, and for Him to actually teach you how to actually apply this, to be applying this to all aspects. And there was another prayer that I usually pray about, that I usually ask for, but whatever, through groans too deep for words. I think that's exactly what it was. That's kind of funny. I think that was exactly what it was. Through groans too deep for words, pray concerning this, what everything that I said, to be thinking ahead and to be prudent for these types of things. And I think that about wraps it up. I don't really have much else to say about this video. I spoke about how Joe Biden and this and that, the kingdom of heaven dwells inside of you. Authoritativeness, taking your authority over you. The devil's having zero authority over you. Witches having zero authority over you. Breaking the legal ground that these devils work through, binding them and then casting them into the abyss, and making sure that they can't get out. Obviously, telling the angels to come with hooks to hook these demons that are inside of you, that are lodged inside of you, to take them out inside of your mind, heart, soul, and body. And yeah, that's basically about it. To loosen yourselves up, and to loosen yourselves up from whatever is causing you to, from whatever whatever is hurting you. And yeah, that's basically it about that. And to tell these, and to be loosened from these demons, and from these strongholds and principalities. And yeah, obedience is better than fasting, people. Don't think that because you fast 20 days or 30 days, you're somehow getting closer to God, but you're still in sin, you're still in fornication. By you actually fasting and you going back to your sin, it made no difference what you did. It made no difference that you humbled yourself down, and it was obviously you should just fast for God's will, people. And this, God knows what He's doing, so just fast for God's will and leave it on that note. and yeah, that's basically about it. I know you hear these individuals is charging, but it's not even anything. There's no threat. It's no worry whatsoever. I find it rather amusing that these individuals feel threatened to even act up and even act out when supposedly I'm not doing a thing. It's pretty hilarious and pretty foolish. These individuals need some intelligence, and yeah, keep praying for those that persecute you, and yeah, keep doing those types of things. Obviously, you're gonna waste your time if you fast and you just go back to the sin. That's one of the main things that individuals fail to recognize, that when you actually fast, you're not supposed to go back to the sin. What's the point of fasting if you're just going to go back to the same old sins? I myself have fasted for, just to be delivered from what is that called? From nicotine and from alcohol. And it's pretty easy. I just did a water fast. I did 2-day water fast, and I was instantly delivered. Now every time the next time I try to inhale a cigarette, I almost puked and I almost threw up. So obviously this is something that individuals need to do. But this is something that is a conscious decision that you're actually aware of. Because when you fast, obviously it's a day solely dedicated to God. Obviously you don't really... it would be rather offensive for you to pick up a cigarette on a day that you're actually fasting. Yeah, that's that about that. And that's basically what I did. I thought it was rather offensive for me to even smoke a cigarette while I was fasting, and that was the main reason why I didn't even bother picking one up or even drinking. And yeah, that's basically it about that. Maybe the Holy Spirit has something else to say. This is all out war. Yeah, usually the Holy Spirit always says the same things. This is all out war. This is spiritual warfare, people. And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, this is all out war. Keep declaring war on the enemy. Keep declaring war in your area. Keep declaring war against everything that comes up against Jesus Christ, and bring it all to a submission and obedience to Christ. And yeah, that's basically it. The world belongs to the saints. The world belongs to the saints, and the world belongs to the saints. And that's it. Don't let these individuals do not at all let these individuals convince you that it belongs to them. It doesn't. Put the hammer down, and yeah, that's it. Pray, pray, and pray. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this. This is pretty vague. I mean, not pretty vague, but it's vague enough for you to actually understand what you should do, and pretty specific enough for you to understand what parts you should hit. And yeah, that's basically it. These individuals are destined to lose, and you're destined to win. And that's it. If they think otherwise, just keeps giving them flashes. And that's it. Grace and peace be multiplied to you. Grace and peace be multiplied to you. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let me try to figure out what I was talking about. Boycotting. I spoke that on my last video. I was saying that you gotta trample on everything that doesn't belong to Christ. And yeah, that's basically about it. grace and love of the Lord Jesus be with you all. Amen. Keep praying for Trump. Keep ensuring that Trump actually wins. Keep playing dirty, fighting dirty, and sending your prayers back in time to prevent this abomination from happening. Use the faith. And yeah, that's basically about it. God bless you.